Testing, testing. How you doing, Sean? Just gonna put a link up to the stream on the Discord. Be right back. Get that sorted out. Been 5 days since my last stream. December 5 was when I last streamed. So, that's back here. So we've seen a lot of moves, a lot of action since then, which is cool. I'll wait for some more people to jump in before I dive into it. What's up, Philip? What's up, Let's Mars? We're about 13 minutes out from the close of the Saturday candle. Let's see what it produces. So looking on the daily chart, you can see that the structure has not been lost yet. We're still dealing with low, higher low, higher low, higher low. Like, we have not lost that complete structure just yet. We're currently at a consolidation. Let's go down to the 4-hour chart. Structure is still intact on the 4-hour, not a problem. What's up, D Johnny? How are you, dude? Remember to smash up the like button, guys. See if we can get some more people jumping in. Just checking some other charts here. Solana, bit of a corrective move there on Solana. I'll do a bit of a Solana analysis in a bit as well. Let me just turn off price levels here. Maybe even the key levels, they don't really need to be on. I'm going to talk about the macro for Bitcoin to begin with, I think. I might turn my music down just a touch as well. It's better. Alright. So let's go out to like the weekly and get a bit of a perspective on Bitcoin. All-time high, bear market low. Fibonacci, so the Fibonacci retracement, we've achieved the 236, the 382, the 0.5. If we go down to the daily, you can see we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candle closes above the 0.5 fib level. So I think we're still on track to come visit the golden pocket, which exists between the 618 and the 65. Even if it's just a wick, I think we still have the fuel to get there. So I've got 2 fundamental reasons and 2 technical reasons as to why I think that we can get to that level. So right now we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. I'm just trying to see, maybe on the daily chart, if I zoom out, see any reasons as to why this would be a moment to fall right now. And I can't really see definitely not a Fibonacci reason to fall, because we're between 2 levels. Usually on such a large time frame like the daily, you don't get pivots in the middle of nowhere like this, you know. It'd be strange for it to just collapse from here. All right, let me type out these reasons. So I've got technical reasons. There should be 2. Test of the 0.618. Even into the golden pocket. I'll say, let's see, 48 to 50A, roughly. So wicking into the golden pocket. I mean, it could go high, it could go through that, but we still have to wait to see that. What other technical reasons would there be? I had this drawn out. Let me see if I can find where I drew this out. One moment. Streamer mode is enabled. That's better. Bear with me, I'll grab this reasoning for y'all. Okay, here we are. Yep, here's the other reason. So there's the March 2022 high, which is $48,000. Okay, they're the 2 technical reasons that I think we can get up there to between $48,000 and $50,000. Now the next couple of reasons. Let me make this a little bigger too, so you can read it. And And then we got fundamental reasons. Fundamental treason. Fundamental reasons. We have ETF approval hype. And Bitcoin halving in just a few months' time. There we go. I've written out 4 decent reasons as to why I think visiting 48 to 50k is still quite possible. So this high here, like to come up and just visit and test to see if we can break it even, but mainly just test it as a point of resistance. That to me is the most like blaring pivot point or level to go test. I think whatever we're in right now that I've typed this out, I'll delete these now. But you've seen, these are my reasons. There's technical and fundamental reasons. They're the primary 4, I would say, right now. There's probably some oscillator reasons as well, some more technical indicator type stuff, but I'll look at that in a moment. So down on, like, say, the hourly time frame, we'll zoom out. We were tracking this bull flag that's sort of printed, and it got a textbook breakout. We came out, but we just weren't able to get too much higher than this. It was a bit of a swing fail, which is it seems to be very common for Bitcoin to do these swing fail pushes to the high side. You know, you see them all over the place. Here's an example of one here. Let me just hone in on some examples of that, because it's a very common thing. I'm just going to make this a little larger. Okay, so we had a high. This was the highest point at the time. If you draw a line across, you can see price did come up, and, like, you know, it was teasing that it was gonna rocket up, but then it failed and it dipped back down. So this is your swing fail. This is essentially a cup and handle right here. You've got the cup there, the pullback, and then a reattempt at that resistance, and then a breakout. So that, if anyone's wondering what a cup and handle is, that's it right there. You know, the angle of the neckline of the cup is a little slanted, like more like that. That's a nice cup and handle right there. Let's go down to the 15-minute chart, because I think you might be able to see it better. Yeah. And if you look at the area, the zone that it found support, I'm just gonna see what that is. Fib. Okay, so it basically found support at the golden pocket. 618, 65. Another very common area to find support on a pullback in a bull trend is the 0.5. So 0.5, 0.618. These are very common levels to find support in a pullback, in a bounce, especially for a cup and handle. There's another cup and handle here, sort of. You can see it. Cup, handle, retest of the neckline to the cup, and then breakout. Oop. Let's find some more examples. Here's another one. You might have to go down a time frame to see this. Yeah, this is Bitcoin. Yep. Bitcoin has been giving us a lot of cup and handles, actually. You can see some rounding bottom type consolidations, like a lot of cupping type formations. There's a little mini one here. Look at that. There's one here. There's a larger one here that actually failed. Oh, yeah. Maybe it's more like this, and then a handle, and then it broke the neckline. But overall, I think this was more like a double cup situation. This was another swing fail above this high here. So it swung, failed to break out, and then dipped back down. So maybe you could treat this as one big just rounding bottom. But the real hint is in the lows. So if you get this low here, look at this higher low up here. That is evidence of, yep, this is bullish. You know, you got a low, then a higher low. You would have confidence buying in this area with anticipation of moving higher and testing the previous highs. So just mark out your structure, your lows, like your lows and your highs, mainly your lows. When you're in an uptrend, the focus is on the lows. You want to keep your lows intact. That's the whole point of an uptrend is higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. As soon as you start getting lower lows, you've broken that pattern, and you're now focusing on the highs, because the highs are what define a downtrend. The lows define an uptrend, just as the highs define a downtrend. And they switch. So right here, we've got a high, we've got a low, we've got a lower high. The lows don't matter in a downtrend. Remember, it's the highs that define a downtrend. So they can go, you know, all over the place. But just as long as the consistency of lower highs are playing out, you've got yourself a downtrend. And that's seen on this trend line, this blue line coming down. That is the downtrend line. So you don't say, oh, we're in a downtrend because the lows are trending down. You look at the highs. Just as you look at the lows in an uptrend, you ignore the highs. Now this is the point of the change of character. The change of character is what swaps something from a downtrend to an uptrend, or an uptrend to a downtrend. That's the change of character. So the character was this. This was the point, that's the pivot. Character, character, a characteristic downtrend, lower highs. So that was the last, well, even this one here was like a lower high, because it was, you know, it stands out significantly as a, you know, as a zigzag. So if we're calling that the last high, we were looking for, you know, to continue the downtrend, we were looking for another lower high and another lower high, you know, and that's what keeps the downtrend as a downtrend. But the minute or the moment you get price starting to move above that previous, you know, that last high, you've broken the downtrend, and you've changed the character of the trend. So you're now looking at an uptrend. So a change of character is great, but you need to build structure off that change of character, and that is through now when you've gone from a down and you've changed the character to an up trend. You switch from looking at the highs to looking at the lows. So these were the lows that were set in. I'm going to call that the low. And then now you're looking at the highs. The higher lows. Higher lows, higher lows. Where did we change the character? When we broke the last low. So now it's back on a downtrend. So Bitcoin is on a short term, like a 5-minute chart downtrend, because we lost that last low there. We broke it. We changed the character. So this is an uptrend. I'm going to make these color coded. That's an uptrend right there. Let me make that like green, like that. That's an uptrend. This is a downtrend. Make it red in a minute. And it's only because of the highs getting lower that this is a downtrend. Doesn't matter about the lows, they can go anywhere they want. It's the highs that define the downtrend. That's where the downtrend stops, so that's red. So right now we are in, because we changed the character, we changed the color. So this is tricky. Like where are we pivoting from here? Probably like here. I've already cancelled it. 1 second. This is a bit messy, but the structure is there, the down structure. So where was our, remember a downtrend is defined by the highs. There's the first high, there's the lower high, lower high, lower high. That was the last high that we had on the chart there, right here. So we're not going to break back to an uptrend until we get above 44,000 and, you know, whatever that pivot is right there. Let's just call it 44,100. To consider Bitcoin to be back on an uptrend on the 5-minute chart, we need to get above 44.1. That would be, you know, changing character back to an up. So we're dealing with a down for now. Now, the cool thing about trading to trend, like if you can identify what you're in, you can take action on the pivots of that trend. So in a downtrend, you want to go short on the highs, on the swing highs, right? And in an uptrend, you want to go long on the pivot low, like on the low, the pullbacks, right? Man, the cool thing about this, look how long this uptrend lasted on Bitcoin. Where could you say it really started? Because look, there's a downtrend here. There's like a double top there, but this is a downtrend here. Something like this. That's like kind of the downtrend. This is where the trend changed direction. We didn't know it yet. See, that's the thing. You don't know it until it breaks. Until it breaks the previous high. You could even call that a high there. So it didn't actually get broken until here, like this line here, this $38,000 line. That's when the uptrend started. All through here is uptrend. Uptrend. That would be green. But look at how long that kept structure for. It's pretty cool. Then you had this consolidation here. That would have probably like got people guessing when we tested 42,000. And we kind of broke, we got a head and shoulders here. And started to come down. We started a fresh downtrend, but we got the change of character, but we didn't get the follow through with another lower high and another lower high. You know, we kept it. We broke it back. We broke it back again. And that's the thing. You can get change of characters one after the other, and that's where it gets choppy and it gets difficult to identify the trend. So with that in mind, there are moments, when you think about it, there's moments in the price action where there is no trend because you've just got change of character after change of character. So that is like neutral. Like, and that's what it looks like. It looks like this. It just goes sideways, and it's not fun to trade. This is good for grid bots, because it's a range, and you can set up a grid, and the bot will go to work in that grid. But I don't know how many people would be thinking about grids too much right now. Oops, let me go back. So what are we? Oh, we're 10 minutes past the daily. So we're 10 minutes into the Sunday candle. We are still in this shorter term downtrend on Bitcoin. I'm going to delete all this. I just wanted to really show structure. And by the way, we were on the 5-minute chart there. So the 5-minute chart tells its own story of trend, right? Just as the 1-hour chart has a different story, the 4-hour chart has a different story as well. And then the daily has a different story. So it just depends on your time horizon as to what you're trading. If you're more of a swing investor, you might not be looking at any charts below 4 hours. See the 4-hour chart. What's happening on the 4-hour? If you can identify the structure on the 4-hour chart, you'll know that we still have higher lows the whole time. We have not lost our higher lows. You know? If this comes down to here, that's when it's, oh, like it's, okay, we might be losing structure here. But the 4-hour structure for Bitcoin is still intact. We're still intact on Bitcoin. What about the daily structure? Sorry, I keep mashing the keyboard. Daily. Look at the more macro structure for the year. We've got our low point. We've got a high. We've got a low, a high, a low, high that came up, and then we double bottomed here. So that's not we did not break structure down here. You know, this is not a break of structure. That's a double bottom. So it's a test of support and it held. So that's good. Now the thing that's made this very tricky for bulls on higher time frames is that there hasn't been many big pullbacks to get in on in this rally. Like it's not very clean to, you know, there's no real nice juicy, you know, deep pullbacks to buy into. They've all been quite shallow, and that highlights how bullish all of this has been in the recent, you know, the recent weeks. We've just been real bullish. So daily, the daily's good. Let's zoom out further. Let's identify what's happening on a high time frame. This might uncover some revelations for people. So we know that the daily trend on the daily chart is an uptrend. So we're in a bull market. You know, the trend is favoring the bulls. It's not favoring the bears. They're getting wrecked. The bears are getting wrecked on whatever this is. The bears last year, though, on the daily, were getting rewarded because, you know, we just kept setting in lower highs, lower highs, lower highs the whole time, right? Until we got to the bottom point right there. So we didn't know the bear market was over until we got above this high here. That's the high that identified the change in direction right there. So when we got above 21,400, so basically 21, that was bull market on. That was the moment where we changed the structure from a daily context. Now weekly, I think the weekly context might be different. I'm going to delete these. Let's check out the weekly. The weekly is similar. It's just the pivots are a bit more blended together, I suppose, and you might want to turn logarithmic on so that you can see a little bit better of where we're at. Okay, there's no doubt that out of the COVID drop, we started the bull. That was, that was the point where we got bullish, came up. That was a pivot right there. We lost structure at 65,000. 65,000 was the top at the time. The reason we lost structure was because of this lower high, sorry, higher low rather, was lost. We lost it. We got lower. So a downtrend ensued for a number of weeks. We got this. So the last point, the last high of that downtrend was here. It was right there. So to get back to an uptrend, you need to break it. So we did. We went like this. We broke it there. And we made it to 69, the new high. So that was an uptrend. And then from $69,000, it was a downtrend the whole time, basically, on the weekly. It was very much similar to the daily chart, just a bit smoother, less bumps. This area got questionable because I think it probably changed character through there a little bit. It got very complex. That's where we really... The writing on the wall was when we lost 33k. So right there, I believe, was the confirmation that we were really in a bear market. We lost that $33,000 level and came down. What about the monthly chart? What does the monthly chart look like? This is a bit of a shorter chart, so you're not going to be able to see too much, but now this is more like a cycle swing traders chart for the monthly. That was it. That was the bull run of, 2018 bottom up to the 2021 all-time high. That was the bull run. The structure was all there. I'm just locking this to those points. Copying this tool. What was the point that broke the camel's back? Was this load here getting lost on the monthly time frame. See how bear markets don't last long in Bitcoin, historically speaking. This is a bit different. We actually, well, to get technical with you, the downtrend didn't start until we lost the low, so it's probably more like this. Yeah, it should look more like that. That was more the downtrend there. So yeah, the monthly, look, it's that was the last high of the month, the 25k level on a monthly chart. So we've been in an uptrend. It's a bull market to a, if from my, like the way that I define a bull or bear market, we're in a bull market right now. The structure is there for a bull, That's how I see it. So the bear actually started here. It starts at the pivot, doesn't it? Broken structure. Actually, that was the last lower high, and then it lost the, yeah. Anyway, you get the gist of it. I'm gonna delete all this, and then let's zoom back in. See what's happening structurally. So on a 4-hour chart, structure's intact. The 1 hour, it's, yeah, look, I think I wouldn't get too bearish until we lose 43,000 convincingly with like hourly candle closes below 43. That's my kind of line in the sand as to whether we've lost this uptrend for now. And it's, look, it's intact. It's actually showing signs now of having support here. So we could, you know, revisit 44 soon. Okay, let me have a look at ADA. Bilgo Metz is asking me to look at ADA. Cardano. I'll do that. ADA. Shiba. Hey, Snook. You want me to check out Shiba? I'll do that after ADA. Alright, ADA's been in a really nice uptrend. Let's go to the hourly chart. Look at this consolidation range here. You can like draw a rectangle around it. Something like that. That's kind of what Dogecoin is in. Dogecoin is in this range between 5 and 10 cents. ADA broke out beautifully. ADA's still on trend on the higher time frames. No doubt about it. Because look, I'll show you where I think ADA's lows are. And you can tell me what that means, you know? So there's a low. There's kind of a I don't know, okay, let's just, for argument's sake, say that's a low. There's a low here too. There's a low here. There's a pullback around here. There's one here. So all of those lows were higher and higher and higher. We changed character here. So we got a low that changed the character to the downside. So we're waiting on the continuation. So it's one thing to change character, but it needs to be followed up by a break of structure, because the structure is here right now. That's the last point of structure that ADA has to stay alive, basically, to stay afloat. And if you get below 57 cents for Cardano, that's when this supposed downtrend is, you know, is taking off. Like it's actually being confluent with its change of character. So just be careful, like just because something has changed character or is threatening to change character doesn't mean it's the end of the trend, the overall trend. It has to be followed by a break of structure to the downside. So ADA still, look, this is the line. I'll just draw it out real simple. This line here, if you lose that, it becomes a downtrend. But if you break this, it becomes it goes back on its uptrend if you break the green. So right now it's in like this holding pattern, I guess, for lack of a better term. You're in this squeeze right now. You know, something has to give. Something's got to give. It's either going to be 60 cents breaks or 57 cents breaks. Judging by the momentum and the shot up that ADA has had over the last, you know, week or two, my bet would be on up. Like, the trend is your friend, right? The higher time frames say that ADA is still in an uptrend. The trend is alive, I would say. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Yeah, dude, the trend is very much alive. Look at this. Dude, this is exactly what Bitcoin did not long ago. An ascending triangle right here. Just like that. Ascending triangle breakout. Very explosive. That was at 40 cents. When ADA got above 40 cents, it was off. Like it was just, you know, the party started. Okay. Let's look at, yeah, so ADA, dude, my call would be up from here. But, you know, provided this is my line of invalidation. That's when, for me, the uptrend becomes invalid, is if you lose 57 cents. And then you would think about closing your long, like if you bought it, you know, down here or something, or like somewhere along this move up, you would close it if you lose that. But you gotta be careful of wicks. Don't sell on a wick. It just, I mean, look, it can get devastating if a wick goes down and the candle hasn't closed yet. That's just tragic. You don't want that to happen. But look, it's showing signs of holding on. It really is. From it, like if you're looking at the micro structure, if you dial it down to the 5-minute chart, it just depends like what kind of time frame you're playing it on. But yeah, I wouldn't sell ADA off just yet. It's made a very deliberate pivot just here for now. It's trying to keep the party going. So yeah, hopefully that helps you, man. I hope that gives you some perspective on what ADA's doing structurally. Okay, let me look at Shiba Inu. I'm gonna leave these lines on the chart and we'll visit this again in the next stream. But let's check out Shiba. LMNOPQRS SH. Shib. Is SHIB 1000. Let's go out to the 4-hour chart. Let me check out the daily actually, because it's hard to get a bearing on it so zoomed in. Okay. Dude, much like Dogecoin, Shiba is still in a macro accumulation box for me. That's what Shiba, like, this is all buying. If you think Shiba has any chance at revisiting, you know, some of these highs that it's fallen from, this is all still really good value down here, I would say. So it just depends on your conviction with Shiba long term. This would be that's the way I see the market. You know, start on the daily, zoom out, try to identify a range, and like where repeated, like what makes me draw that box? It's this touch here. It's this activity down here, all of these like points of support make me think that is roughly where the bottom of the range is. Just as the top side, like where's the most common spot for these highs to go visit? And it's, you know, you just try to incorporate as much of the activity as you can with your lines. Like you could get even more specific and say that it's more like this, more something like that. You know, that's your range, and then all of this activity here was just, you know, that was out of the ordinary pumping, and it doesn't really represent, you know, the primary structure, the primary buy zone, right? That's anomalous, I guess you could say. But yeah, I mean, it's so much like Dogecoin. I think it's still waiting for liftoff. So with that in mind, I'll go down a time frame. Let's go down to the 4-hour chart. If you treat the buy zone as like a trading range, this is the area of value down here to buy, and then this is the area of resistance to sell. Like, that's just how it's been behaving over time, over the last whatever many months. So the line in the sand for me, like to really break and go bullish, we need to get above the previous pivoting points. So Shiba needs to get above 0.113 for me to get super excited for Shiba on a high time frame. From a low time frame, dude, it's trending beautifully. Look at the structure. There's been, just to keep it quick and simple, there's been this uptrend. That was a nasty wick down, damn. But overall, yeah, it's building. See, when you zoom in on certain altcoins, you can't trust the low time frame structure whatsoever because there's so much manipulation. Like, it breaks all over the place. You know, if you're getting bullish off this move up here, it's like, yep, we've made a higher low here, and we're moving up. We're keeping this game going. But look at how violent that sell-off was. That's like, you have to be careful trading these because they shoot beyond structure on the low time frame. This is the 15-minute chart, and this is how you lose money, even when you're following the rules of structure. Like, if you're not careful, you can get wiped out. If you go to sleep on a trade and you wake up in the morning and get liquidated, don't be surprised with that, because look how erratic these altcoins can be. But yeah, look, and this is, yeah, dude, it's so hard to. This is clean. This is clean up. There's a point here, and now we've started a trend down. Just trying to see, it's in a bull. It's trying to print out like a bull flag, perhaps. This is the flag here. That's the pole. Kind of strange looking. But yeah, just on the micro, this is more of a macro, you know, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. If we're calling that a low, it needs to keep the party going. So it needs to get above 1 cent, basically, or 1.04 cents. Where is that big old nasty 1.0? There it is. That is such a big deal. 1 cent for Shiba. Right there. I'm gonna mark that in, actually. Keep it there as a big psychological level. The 1 cent mark. It's fighting to keep it. It wants to be above 1 cent. The bulls want it above 1 cent, especially the people that invested in it down in the bear, like deep in the bear market. But now that we've got that 1 cent level in, look, you can sort of see that's kind of been mid-range point for Shiba. It's been playing games with people. Losing a cent, gaining a cent, losing a cent, gaining a cent, losing a cent, gaining it, losing it, and now we're just trying to reclaim it now. It is all over the place. So I think it's better to play something like that's so erratic and difficult on lower leverage. And if you believe in it long term, just allow it that noise. Like, you want to zoom out to scrub that noise out. You want to try and smooth the chart out as best as possible. Pepe's the same. Pepe's a very volatile, like, very unforgiving coin to try and scalp, I feel. Look at it on the 5-minute chart. Look how messy that is. Pepe's very, very intense. Let's just look at that massive sell-off there. Huge pump, big sell-off, like, big pump. Sold off shitloads here. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if it ripped. You know, like, that would be on trend of behavior for it. Pepe is very wild. It's got a very volatile, like, range of noise to it. Look at that whipsaw. Crazy. Yep. And that's what these shit coins do, man. They wreck you. They're designed to wreck you. Because people don't have big long-term plans for these coins. I don't feel like the serious money. Retail, not so much. Retail back these things. Like the community of Pepe is retail. Same with Doge. Same with Shiba. Like it's mostly retail. Communities of support that the whales get into are things like ADA, Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin. You know, that's what they mess with. They don't mess with like, you know, meme coins per se. You know what I mean? Rick, what does that say? Let me just bump this up a little because I need to read it. Rick, can you check Bonk? Okay. Yeah, let's check Bonk. I've been tracking Bonk. I bought it at that green dot. Let me go down to a minute chart. I'll show you what my Bonk trade was. It was actually very scary where I got it. Back further. Okay, I bought it there, stupidly. And it threatened. Okay, so my position was here. This is where I bought it, right? Let's just ballparking it. I bought it on a push. Like I saw that it was coming up and visiting these highs here, which was that was the highest point on Bonk at the time. This level here, this area, and I got excited, man. I bought into that optimism, like that euphoria, that push to the high. I have a tendency to do that. I really need to be more patient. But it didn't even quite test it. It failed to test it, and I was stuck. My liquidation was somewhere around here, I think it was, and this freaked me out. Like when it came down the way it did, I was so like I panicked like with it. I mean, I didn't use serious money. It was just like, you know, a scalp on leverage, right? But I held it because I knew that there was this up structure still, right? And even this push down, it was a wick down, and I kind of think with wicks, I kind of call bullshit on a wick, especially if it gets bought up, because like this was still good. My liquidation was down here. The wick down was violent, and I think this all happened in the space of like less than 10 seconds. This wick down. So I had a brief heart attack when it did that. But then when I saw this pin bar, like this close and then open at the same level, and then the move up, I felt like, yep, I might get lucky, and this might range. And by range, I mean exactly what it did. It ranged. And I think I had the chance to close it up in this area, up around here, like on these pushes into profit. Let me get my trading up to show you that trade, and then I'll do an analysis on Bonk, just for fun. Oh, that's right. I can make it blind. I'm going to bring it across. This hides my balance and all that when I do it like this. Okay, so this is my trading. I'm on the 1 minute chart. This is Bonk. I think that's my red line. Yeah, here we go. Here it is. Here's my buys. See? My buy was in that, somewhere in that circle. I bought. It fucking sold off crazy. My heart jumped into my throat, like just on this wick down here. It came back up. I called bullshit. I held on, and it did not get back down to that wick. So that was like phew. Like I'm underwater, but shit. Yeah, it came down. It consolidated. I sold it up here on this wick. I got a pretty good sell on it. Somewhere on that candle. I don't know where. Let's just give it the benefit of the doubt. I sold it down here. I didn't get a great sell, but it was profit either way. there was much better plays on Bonk after that. I think if I had just held it, I would have got liquidated eventually, because I think it did come down eventually and get through that red line. Oh, it grew a lot. Okay, that's where it would have liquidated many hours later. But yeah, Bonk was showing signs of like losing momentum, slowing down on momentum. And here we are today. Like, it only would have liquidated for me this morning at 3 a.m. basically. But yeah, that was a position that I didn't intend on riding for days and days. It was just, I was just trying to catch this optimism that was seemingly trending, right? This was a bit of a this was basically a cup and handle play right here. I just happened to buy at the neckline of the cup, which was stupid. I should have waited. In hindsight and like analyzing this play, what I should have done was waited for the test at the bottom here, and then got in with confirmation that this level was being held. That's more how you should play it. But yeah, that's that trade. What's another cool trade that I've done? So I haven't really touched Bonk since then. Does Bonk have an opportunity still? I think, let me zoom out on the 5-minute. That was an old liquidation. You can see I've played it a few times. Not all of them wins. Look how short that play was. It was just a quick scalp. The sad thing about Bybit is that it doesn't show you the entire history of your trades, because I would love to go back and show you the massive short that I did back in the earlier part of this year when it came down. But yeah, dude, just look at the magnitude of this correction here. This is a larger correction, so be careful expecting long opportunities just yet. You need to wait for that structure to come back. Let me go back to a TradingView chart. I'll show you. So Bonk, that was okay. I'll delete all this because that story's done and dusty. We got like 29 people in the house. What's up? Smash up the like button, guys. We'll see if we can get some more people to jump in. Bonk. Let's go back out the 5-minute. The structure has been lost to the upside for now. If you're talking about this trend here, this trend going up has been lost as of here. So that was the last like real impressive low that it had, and it's been lost. We've lost that low. We just have not been able to reclaim a new high. There's a high, there's a high. You can see they've all just been getting lower and lower. So we're in a downtrend right now on Bonk on the lower time frame. Obviously, it's still in an uptrend on the higher time frames. Like if you go to the 4-hour chart, it's been on a parabola, like it's been parabolic. So damn. There's, just like I marked out with Shiba, here's the Bonk 1 cent line. It's, you know, it's basically where Shiba is right now, Bonk. Totally different supply, so that, you know, the tokenomics are different, but price-wise, they're at the same level, very similar level. Bonk's market cap, I think, it's grown a lot. Let me open up coin market cap. Actually, this might crash the stream or slow the stream down for a minute, but I just want to quickly look, see if we can do it, see if we can get away with it. So stay with me, guys. Bonk is 85th. It's gone up 5,300% this year. Let's go into Bonk. We'll check market. So this is price, and we'll go all. So that's the entire history of Bonk on a screen. Let's go the market cap, because I want to show you. It was down, it was only worth $10 million. The way that I gauge value or price, for me personally, I think of houses. Houses roughly where I live, around about $1 million for a house. So Bonk, you know, for a long time here was about 10 houses. Check out where it went. It went up, let me just like go this way. It went up from, you know, 10 houses to all the way up to 874 houses. That's like an entire suburb. So this was a street, like a little street, and it's gone up to an entire suburb worth of houses. That's crazy. Now, so Bonk's big. Bonk's pretty big. It's like the size of a suburb, right? Now, if you go on the coin market cap and you look at something like Shiba and Doge, they're 14.1 billion. This is like the size of a city. These are like cities. And then you look at Bitcoin, this is like a country or something like that, you know? That's how I gauge the size and how mammoth these things are. But yeah, like, shit. The top 100, like, okay, the top 100, roughly $500 million, 500 million if you're in the top 100. Pepe's $640 million. There's still like, if you think, look at this, Bonk has overtaken Pepe in the list. I think Bonk got up as high as like 74th position when it was at its high. Like when it was back up here. That market cap was a lot bigger. So, yeah, look, man, this could be the start of something. It's like a broader correction, perhaps, but just see how it behaves with the 1 cent level. I would say there's a lot of buying here, like these wicks. The length of these wicks show like a decent amount of buying, so people are still trying to hold it up. But this reminds me, like let's treat this like Dogecoin. If we're saying this was the SNL high of Doge's all-time high, then the sell-off has begun. You know what I mean? You don't want to get stuck in something with your fingers crossed. You want to cut your losses. Like, this isn't financial advice, by the way. This is just things to think about. Like, use it as information to consider. I'm not telling anyone what to do, and I never will tell anyone what to do with their trades or their positions or anything like that, but I'm just giving you my opinions on strategies around it. But that's the risk you face, man. Like if something is in a short-term downtrend, that could get bigger. Like that downtrend could become something broader, and you don't want to be sitting in it with your fingers crossed in case it does correct big, you know? Because that's when your money will be stuck. For the days become weeks, the weeks become months, the months become years, you know? Like that's the risk. So you just have to have a threshold when you're playing these coins like Bonk. It's a micro cap. It was a micro cap. It's now moved up a lot, but you need to have a strategy for when you are in, for when you say, yeah, I'm in this, or to what like what's my cutoff, you know? And have a strict rule, like I don't want to be in this if it's downtrending on the 15-minute time frame, or if it's downtrending on the 5-minute, I don't want to be involved in it. You know what I mean? This is where you have to really, you know, this for me, this would have been like, no, I don't want to be holding anything if it's in a downtrend on even the 1 minute, dude. Keep it be more strict about it, you know? If you only got in recently into Bonk and it's already like lost the 1 minute trend, look how violent the sell-off can be. Like this is what creates tragedies. Like if you're holding something that's gone down 22% and you know you bought positions up here, like that's a shame. It is. You need stop losses in these coins that don't have a guaranteed future, you know, like what. But yeah, look, I hope that it keeps going for you or for anyone that might be in it and stuck or whatever. But yeah, meme coins, meme coins can be very tragic. Just as they can be fantastic and like life changing, they can be savage on the other side. They can correct heavy, and it's not fun. So be careful. If Bonk starts to prove itself with support and getting structure, then maybe yeah, there's hope in it, and it could see like a further move up, and that becomes continuation of the larger move. Now this you can apply this mindset to anything, to Bitcoin, to you know the smallest micro cap shitcoin you want. Like just apply this rule. The coin obviously, and what most people have this level of confidence in, and the most confidence in, is Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin is the dominant crypto of cryptocurrency. Still, it's never lost that title. Bitcoin is the if you want to put it on a spectrum of trust, it's the most trustworthy out of all of them to grow into the future, right? When you look at something like Bonk, where does that fall on the scale of trust? Like, how much trust am I putting into Bonk over the course of, its lifetime or, into the future? I wouldn't gauge it that high. I really wouldn't, because I don't know much about it, to be honest. Like, fundamentally, I don't know how it works, what their plans are. But, yeah, it's definitely not high on the spectrum. When you look at coin market cap, like here, this coin market cap, things are in the top 20, the top 30, the top 50 for a reason. Like, they got there because they actually have something, especially the top 10, the top 20. They are. This is and Shiba. This is why Shiba and Doge are so crazy, because they're just meme coins. They're these wild cards that cracked in. They're not solving any big problems in the world, but they're in there. They're in the top 20, and they've been there the whole time. Once they broke in, right? So that's why it's hard to really talk about fundamentals with them, because they're just so strange. That's my gauge on meme coins and shit. These alts that crack into the top 50. It's like they have to have got there for some reason. Hammer64 Snook, thank you so much, dude, for the super chat sticker. I appreciate it. We're in extreme greed, by the way. We're in 80 on the fear and greed index. Let's open up that index. I want to see what it's got to say. CMC Crypto Fear and Greed Index. It's only showing back as far as the 30th of June this year. But you can see, yeah, we got quite fearful through here, and we've come up into above 80. Interesting. Just cracked into that extreme greed zone. So things are starting to get kind of interesting. The market's greedy right now. Things are going up. What are some moves on Bonk? I wonder. That oh, Snook with another $1. Thanks, dude. Appreciate that. Let's celebrate their 5th super on a live stream. What do I do? What happens if I click it? It says, let's celebrate. Don't forget your family, Rick. Yo! Yeah, dude. I won't forget my family. How do I... Is there a button to click celebrate? It's telling me let's celebrate your 5th super chat on a live stream. So maybe they're just telling me to mention or shout it out. So that's cool, man. That's great. Just sort out my watch list because we've got a new daily candle. We're 55 minutes. We're almost 1 hour into the new day, and BitTorrent, BTT, has gone up 12% already so far on this daily. BitTorrent. Keep up the great work. We need you out here. Appreciate that, dude. I will keep it up. I'll be here from cycle high to cycle bottom. If it's infrequent, I apologize for that, but I won't ever walk away. I don't plan to anyway. I don't plan to walk away from Crypto Down Under or this community. I think there's too much opportunity to walk away from it, and I'd be kicking myself if I did and I missed the next major opportunities and the future opportunities. So seeing 2 bear markets has been very eye-opening. If I let me open up a Bitcoin chart that shows the cycle highs and lows and whatever. Go to this one. This is the Bitcoin index chart. So let's go out, zoom out on the weekly. Let me hide all this as well. So hide the TA, hide the fib. Price range, I'll delete that. Get that line. Cycle tops, I'll hide that. Okay. There we go, nice and clear. So let's turn logarithmic on, because that's the best way to view the high time frame stuff. This is where I got involved. This was my genesis right here. This is where I started. The top, very common story. A lot of people get involved in the tops as complete noobs. Most people get involved when it's exciting, right? That was me getting in there, trying to go long in the start of what was a bear market. Devastating. Losing lots of money, as a noob does. Holding bags. Thinking that it's over. I gave up, dude. I walked away from crypto. I wasn't even looking at charts when this drop happened. I was like, screw it. I've just lost anything I put in. I was holding bags, and I sold them at losses. It wasn't much money. It was a few $100 that became $20, $15. I was pretty annoyed at that. So sold out, wasn't paying attention down here to the market. Started to go, through here, this is where I got involved again. I was like, my face was more, my expression was more like, oh shit, it's coming back. Let me just draw a face for this time here. I was more like, I need dollar signs in my eyes and a big grin. That was what I was. At the top, I saw the potential. I saw what could be, and I saw everyone else reporting that they're making massive money. And what I didn't really grasp was what they probably got in along the way up. You know, you see these people, these kids driving around in Lamborghinis and videos and stuff. They probably bought in, you know, and took advantage of the bull market at the time. And I thought, yeah, I'll just join this train. You know, if we're going up to the moon, I'll jump in here and I'll get rich or whatever. And then you learn, you know, all the market stuff. You learn the cycle stuff. So yeah, all through here, I would say, let me draw a box around my involvement. Probably like from here to here. I'll make this a neutral color. That was where I was involved, I would say. I was really paying attention, yeah, probably like through here. And then once again, seeing this come up the way it did, I probably got involved from here, made some money, like on the second, like probably halfway up, and then probably, you know, gave a lot of it back too, as it started to pull back. So I would say maybe around like that amount of time, I started trading again, and then COVID drop happened. I was doing other things in my life at this point. I wasn't really paying too much attention to crypto, and it was when we got back to like revisiting these highs, like this high here, is like when I was like, once again, let me just copy paste this face, you know, like an idiot, coming in going, oh shit, it's coming up again. And thank God it did. Thank God that it kept the trend up, because this happened again. That red. Make these yellow, because it's kind of like a mid-range color. Aaron, my dude, never give up. We appreciate you. Thank you, dude. Appreciate that. $5, £5, whatever that is. That pounds or euros? Pounds, I think. That's very generous. Thank you. Yeah. So let me get an involvement box. So pretty much, I've been pretty consistently involved again. All up until about, oh, it was maybe like there, actually, more like that. And then I didn't really, I checked what was happening, but I really didn't take advantage of the bear market. I didn't go short. I wasn't shorting all these big moves down. I came back in a big way, like playing with money here, this roughly here. So let me encompass this area, and it's been like this. This is probably the longest time I've been continually looking and involved in crypto. It's like probably from here to here. So there's these, yeah, like if you look at the whole journey of my involvement, that's like this, from here to here, these little windows of not really paying attention were actually good opportunities still. Like there was still things to do in these gaps, these moments of like dropping the ball, you know? But what matters is, yeah, seeing the cycle, noticing that that's a top and these are tops, and that this was a bottom and this was another big bottom, and that we saw an FTX disaster, that was a bottom. We've seen the recovery, but you know, we know if I'm to break it down in like a what do you call it? Just a big path. You've got bull market, bear market, bull market, bear market, and we are beginning the next, you know, where does this go? Like, you know, there might be some volatility along the way, but I think, yeah, we are on the path to making all-time highs and beyond. Like, I think, you know, if you're The best thing, like the thing that we have to go off, is cycles so far. That's the best we can do with Bitcoin, because that's the only information we have. We don't have a long history of information with Bitcoin. This is whoop, that's the journey that we have. Oh, where did my chart go? Yeah, there it is. Okay. That's the most information anyone has on crypto, right? We've got bull, bear, bull, bear, bull, bear, bull, bear, and then here we are today. The bull has, arguably, most people can get on board with, the bull has started. A lot of people think it's just relief, and that could be true. You know, if I zoom back in again, it could be very similar to this, what we did. Let me get... Yeah, it could be this. You know, we could have just done this here. Like, that could be the same as this. And that we're in for some volatility and pain and chopping and you know, mixed emotions. Like, look, like, let's zoom in on that. There is a lot of different things happening here. It's got a downtrend. It's got a really nice, like, recovery bounce there. Like, that was a really nice falling knife when you look at it in hindsight, right? There's a downtrend, a big move up, which, you know, that's a number of weeks up. So there was some moves made there for people trading it. There was a savage sell-off. Like, this was mind-blowing, and it happened in the stock market too, and probably Forex. Like, there was so much in between, you know, in that time there. So much happened. A lot of emotions. But yeah, look, it was very common to feel like this and walk away over here after FTX, especially. After that drop, so many people got disillusioned with crypto. A lot of people bowed out and probably haven't come back yet. But, you know, the market has a habit of drawing people in again, doesn't it? It drew me in. Like, it's played with my emotions a lot over time. But it's when you've got to understand, at least with crypto, the journey seems to be, and this is all markets, we go through these cycles of euphoria and bullishness, and these cycles of despair and you know, capitulation and depression. We go through these depressions. It's a boom and bust cycle. Bubble, pop, bubble, pop. And then now we're inflating the next bubble, I feel. You know, and the journey it takes to doing that, it's not clear. It's not just a straight line up. It's probably gonna have all sorts of drama along the way. Just like, I mean, look how dramatic this one was. That was so dramatic. So much went on before we actually, you know, got back up. This one was a bit more calm. This one was a bit more trendy. That was a much easier ride up. So far, there's been some dramatic pullbacks. Like, this one was dramatic. That was fairly dramatic coming down. You know, there's some drama along the way, but look, for the most part, we are up. We are up from position A. If we're calling where we are now B and the low A, we are up from that. There's pullbacks along the way, but we are still, everything's still intact. And you shouldn't be thinking about, you know, $10,000 or, you know, a return to the bear until we get proof. If I go back to talking about market structure, I wouldn't be getting in front of Bitcoin like with shorts until you start seeing the evidence that we're going to go short, you know, that we're going to crash. Like, it's such a dangerous gamble to take, to try and pick a top. And this is why it's a fool's game to try and pick tops and pick bottoms, really. Because you don't know where that's going to be. You don't have that information. It's a guess. It's a guess. You can try and, you know, convince yourself that you have enough, you know, reasoning behind it. But until the structure is there to reflect what you thought, It's a guess. It is a guess. And you don't want to be, that's not how you trade, that shouldn't be how you trade off guessing. You shouldn't, you need confirmation. Like, you know, use confirmation, use the facts on the chart to determine what you do. Let me catch up on some of these comments. It did not make sense. A few months away from the supply shock. Yeah, it won't stop from here, promise you. That was because of COVID. Yeah, kept going. This is the most bullish Bitcoin's ever been in history. Yeah, look, totally, dude. I think the whole COVID sell-off, all markets were affected by that. This was not a Bitcoin problem. This was not a crypto problem. This was outside. This was bigger than crypto. It was the whole world was stunned by that COVID shock. Like it just, every market saw that flash crash. So if we didn't have that, maybe the story would have looked more something like this, you know. Just, you know, delete that anomaly. It was an anomaly. Let me dial back into where Bitcoin is right now. Oh. I'm going to put this chart back to the way it looked before. Let's go down to the 15-minute chart. Look on Bitcoin. When do you recommend to invest? I would say dollar cost averaging is probably the best approach to investing. So that's putting, you know, whatever money you can afford to invest, and do it in equal intervals over time. So you don't want to invest, you don't want to be doing investing at cycle highs. We're not at cycle highs. We're halfway recovered from a cycle high. From a cycle low, you know, we're halfway up, we're halfway back. You know, if you call this the high, the cycle high, and this the cycle low down here, we are halfway back on that journey back to the high. And the cool thing about Bitcoin, at least, it has a history of not just visiting its cycle high, but then, you know, making progress on its journey to make a new all-time high. So this is just our cycle high right now that we're dealing with. That's a target. So right now, yeah, we're in transit. You know, the road's volatile. There could be pullbacks along the way. There could be a savage sell-off, you know, around the corner. I don't think it's going to happen in December. I could be totally wrong, of course, but I don't think, if I'm just going to talk my hunch, my guess, I don't think that we get a big sell-off before the end. I think it's is going to get held somewhat. You know, maybe we do see like a bit of a dip that freaks everyone out, and then, you know, another revisit of a new high, like before the end of the year. But yeah, look, the changing of the year can be a big deal. Look at the way it pivoted. Let me zoom back out. I have to go back. Yeah, here we go. Look at that. That circle there was New Year's Eve. And then New Year's Day. Look at the way it just changed. The change of the year totally changed the story of Bitcoin. Like, it was a new chapter. It turned a leaf. It went from despair and capitulation and choppiness to massive rally. Massive. All because the date changed. All because the year changed. So what's that mean for Bitcoin? Like, if this year's been all bullish, like, you know, it's been this massive uptrend, what is the 1st of January going to bring for Bitcoin? Is it going to be a massive plummet? We've got that ETF, I think, an ETF decision on the 10th of January, I think. So either we're going to find out if it's yes or no, or delay. Like, I think they can delay it one more time. before they actually have to, you know, the hard deadline is, I think, in March. Maybe someone can correct me on that, but yeah. I don't know. I think my guess is that Bitcoin's gonna hold ground, relatively speaking, until we get that ETF outcome. And a lot of people fear that it's going to be a sell the news. I mean, buy the rumor, sell the news type thing, which could totally be it. Because I guess we're still in the rumor phase of the rumor news, like effect of the ETF thing. BlackRock has gotten 536 ETFs out of 535 accepted. Wow, so they've filed 536 applications for ETFs, and all of them have been accepted. They're just waiting on this pending Bitcoin spot ETF to be approved. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, as far as BlackRock's Bitcoin spot ETF application, it has not been declined. The SEC has not hit back and said you need to amend or you need to include this in the wording of the, you know, of the thing, right? So yeah, technically it's just pending. That's all. Yeah. Pending approval. I don't think they would outright decline it or deny it. That's why there's this optimism in the market, is because BlackRock's involved. An ETF has never been knocked back or totally declined. Yeah, that's cool. There's so many other ETF applications as well. It's not just BlackRock. There's like Fidelity, I think, is another big one. ARK Invest. There's heaps of them. The other big ones, I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I've heard them before. Spot Bitcoin ETF. Applications. So there's 12? 12 or 13? Okay, there's an article on Cointelegraph. Yeah, Grayscale, Fidelity, BlackRock. Look at this article. Fidelity and SEC meet to discuss spot Bitcoin ETF application. The United States Securities and Exchange Commission recently met with Fidelity Investments to seek additional clarity on its spot Bitcoin exchange-traded fund application. According to a filing on December 7, 2 CBOE BZX exchange representatives, 6 SEC personnel, and 9 Fidelity personnel met to discuss the workings of the Wise Origin Bitcoin Trust. The discussion concerned CBOE BZX's proposed rule change to list and trade shares of the Wise Origin Bitcoin Trust under CBOE rule blah blah blah. Fidelity also provided the attached presentation. Filing incorporated PowerPoint slides used during the meeting to illustrate the operational framework of the Bitcoin ETF. Arbitrage and hedge are more efficient with physical creations, filing stated, while proposing the most effective strategy to the US regulator. Applying for physical creation and redemption is critical to enhance trading efficiency and secondary market pricing for all participants. Fidelity submitted a spot Bitcoin ETF application to the SEC on June 19, shortly after BlackRock and several other asset managers filed for the product. Is this another article it opens to? Fidelity renews push for spot-wise Origin Bitcoin Trust, making its 7th application. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So there's some, yeah, one of them has to give. They're just gonna keep trying too. You would imagine, right? They're just gonna keep trying until it gets through. So if it gets knocked back, I feel like they're just buying time, the SEC. But I don't know, how would that hold up in court? You can't just knock it back for no reason. There has to be a good reason. So I think, yeah, look, there's a good chance it's going to get through at some point soon. That's my feeling toward it. It felt like the other thing that felt like it was taking forever was the XRP, like the Ripple versus SEC case. That thing took, I think it was 2 years, wasn't it? Maybe over 2 years. But yeah, crazy. Yep, I agree. Brandon Daniel, yep. They do. They know what they're doing. They're not rookies, man. They're like they're one of, if not the biggest investment firms on the planet. So yeah, you would think that they would know what to do, what they need to do. You know, challenge accepted. They've taken the challenge, and it's really cool that they've done that. All right, I think I'm going to wrap it up. Bitcoin's still alive. It has not been killed yet on this trend. Trend is up. We're going to find out the answer in the next stream. The last stream I did was somewhere in here. Somewhere in here. Today's stream was around here. We'll see what the market throws at us. Hopefully it's good. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a good day. I'll see you later. Bye.